Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Nib Pickin'. My name is Steven and I am here to give you some fountain pen reviews from an artist perspective. Today I'm very excited about the pen I'm going to show you. It is the Penbbs 456. I've had this pen on my radar for quite some time. I finally took the plunge and bought it. It is currently the most expensive pen I have bought at $45. And this pen, as a matter of fact, it ticks a couple of boxes for me, some things I've wanted to own for a long time. I've wanted to have a pen that's made of turned acrylic, and this has a really beautiful finish. We're going to get a closer look at it later. I've always wanted to have a pen that's a vacuum filler that uses air pressure to fill the ink and has a really nice ink capacity, as you can see right there. And I've also really wanted to check out these pens from Penbbs. It's a pen company based out of Shanghai that's just made by people who love fountain pens for people who love fountain pens. So as soon as I heard about this company, I knew I wanted to try one of their pens. So I finally have one. I'm going to open it up, do the unboxing. I'm going to do a drawing sample and tell you what I think about it. All right. Okay, so this is the Penbbs 456 as it came in this box. You can tell it's kind of it's definitely made out of cardboard, but it's kind of nice. It's got a little magnetic closure. What it reminds me of is the boxes that you get when you buy a nice pair of sunglasses. Some people get rid of those, but they are strong and sturdy enough that you could keep the sunglasses in there for protection. And I definitely think that I will be keeping this box. It's the nicest box I've ever gotten. It's only the second pen I've ever bought that came in a box. The other one being my TWSBI Eco, and I do still have that pen box as well. So I'm going to be keeping this. And if we open it up, you can see that there is the pen inside. One thing I will be getting rid of is this foam carrier that came with, because the box itself lifts out nicely. Whoops, you can see there's a little elastic strap that can hold the pen, and then it fits nicely in there, and there you go. It looks really good like that, but here is the pen. And I gotta say, this is my first time having a pen that is turned acrylic, and I can tell the difference just holding it in my hand. It's got a lot of heft, it feels nice, and one of the things that you can't get with a plastic pen is all of the layering of the different patterns that are within this this acrylic here. It's I don't know if it'll come out in the video just exactly like how I see it, but it's dimensional. It's through the acrylic. It's not painted on. It's not a decal or anything like that. It's just kind of what the pen is made out of. So it's really, you can tell it's a thing of quality. It feels really nice in the hand. Normally I take my pens apart, but I'm actually going to leave this mostly intact because it doesn't feel like the pieces move when I tested it before. So I'm probably wrong about that, but I just don't want to risk hurting my pen. I'm very excited about this pen. So have a look at the cap. Cap has this nice little clip on it. This shape kind of reminds me of a sword. I've noticed a lot of Penbbs pens come like this, and the clip is very strong. Like, it's a little bit too strong, but it does have a little bit of give, so you could clip this, especially on a thin cloth shirt pocket or something like that. I tend to clip my pockets in the pocket of my pants. That's where I hold them. But I don't think I would do that with this pen. I think this is more of a pen holder or a pen box kind of pen. It just feels like it's on another level like that. It says on the front, Penbbs, and then Shanghai. It's a very nicely polished metal on the outside. And this band right here connects the clip to the pen, and this is the mechanism for filling it. It's a vacuum filler. I'll show you that in a second. So here the cap comes off, metal threads inside, And these are acrylic threads inside the cap. Maybe metal would be better just to avoid possibly cracking it, but it feels really solid, really strong. I don't think that's going to be an issue. So there's the cap. It's got a little groove on the inside for sealing the end of the section against the cap. So that's not a slip-in seal. It's not a plastic insert. It's actually a part of the pen cap that was machined out, it looks like. So that's really cool. Here's the pen. The section does come off here. Of course, this is a vacuum filler, so you don't need to pull this part off in order to fill it. But just so you can see, there's a little rubber ring right here. And there's the section. Things I really like about the nib, I do like how it's decorated. It says Penbbs since 2005. There's an F for fine. And it says China there. Nice little pattern on the outside. The nib kind of feels like it's scalloped in instead of just being a straight line. And that just feels like a little extra attention to detail. There's a little bit of an accent there, the way that is. So really cool. Plastic feed. Nothing too special right there, but it looks nice all together. And this is the section of the pen that you hold. This is the body of the pen. And when you unscrew the back here, as soon as it gets loose, you can pull it back, and that plunger goes back. And with the end attached, you create a pressurized seal. So when you push it in, this little rubber edge here stays against the wall and holds a negative pressure seal, and then it breaks right at this point right here. You can kind of see a little line. And then when that pressure breaks, whatever is on the other end of the pen is going to get drawn in. So if you have it in a bottle of ink, that's where your ink comes from. Really cool. It feels very strong. It feels significant, like it's not gonna break on me. Again, I love the weight, the pressure of this pen. So I'm going to put it back together and I'm going to fill it up with some ink. All right, so when thinking about what ink to fill this with, I was down to a couple of decisions. It was a tough decision because being a vacuum filler, it's probably going to have that ink for a while. And I don't really have a lot of ink, so I'm going with one that I've used before. And my first thoughts were either Colorverse Delicious Sleep or Noodlers Nightshade. Those are two of my favorite inks that I've been using for the last few months. I've had Nightshade for about a year or two. You can see I haven't used that much of it. It's quite a large bottle. And then Delicious Sleep I got a few months ago. It's a great ink, but I decided to go with Nightshade because I think the color is somewhat similar to the coloring of the pen. So we are going to open up this bottle and we are going to fill this up, and I'm going to readjust my camera a little bit so that you guys can see everything that goes into the pen as well. So pardon me for a second. Okay. Now once again, as I explained, you untwist the cap. We're going to untwist the back end of this plunger and pull it out. All right. And then placing it into the ink, what we should see is when I push this plunger down, you should see the ink rise up inside, and it will feel almost automatic. Whoa, that is cool. All right, so there we go. This feed has a lot of really thin, deep grooves in it. And so one thing I did notice that is it seems to have a lot of ink that builds up in the feed. So that might be an issue when I clean it. I gotta tell you, with how I like about the look of this pen and the feel of it, if it even performs slightly well, this is probably going to become my favorite pen. So there we are, all inked up and ready to go. We'll clean it off. We'll do a drawing sample. All right, before I do begin my drawing sample, the plan is to check out what kind of lines this makes. Again, this nib is a fine. So it'll probably be more of a European fine. I'm not sure exactly where Penbbs gets their nibs made, but I'm not expecting it to be a super ultra mega fine line, but hopefully something that I can work with, hopefully something I can do even some reverse writing with. Let's see what we can get it to do. We'll start with some hatching. A little bit of a weak start there. Okay, I am feeling a little bit of scratchiness here, which is not ideal, but I think it's just kind of warming up. I have not used this pen before. Okay, there we go. Actually, it's a pretty nice thin line. I'm getting some feedback. Might need to work with this nib a little bit before committing to anything. But okay, I'm seeing some nice vertical lines, get some fast writing in. This is feeling, I feel like I do have a bit of control here because of the sort of feedbacky nature of this nib right now. I am hoping for something a bit smoother, but maybe there's some adjustments that I need to do. I'll figure that out. I'll let you know how that goes. But these lines, they work. I could see them working really well for a drawing application. Very good. I can see that I can get a pretty nice thick line. This is kind of the fineness that I was expecting, but then going light, I really can get a nice light thin line that's almost like reverse writing. So the nib is responsive. And if I'm going with really light pressure, I get a nice fine line that reminds me of a Japanese fine, like a Pilot Metropolitan or a Platinum Preppy, a Platinum Balance, something like that. So that's cool. Let's see what reverse writing can do. Okay, I'm getting almost nothing, but there is a line that comes out, and it's very thin. Like, it's scratchy, I'm not gonna lie, it is scratchy, but if I needed to make a very hair thin line that wasn't taking up a lot of space, you know, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's not a reliable line, so like here's a reverse line. See how I can go. Slowly it works. More quickly it starts to run out right away. Can't imagine you would want to spend a lot of time doing reverse writing lines, but it does work. And I do like, yeah, it's starting to smooth up on me now. Oh yeah, there we go. Getting consistent lines now. Doesn't seem to like going sideways. But the function is really nice. Yeah, ready to start drawing with this. It's a tree. I'm working on a detailed drawing of an octopus today using a reference photo I found online. This is because I'm working on a longer project that involves an octopus, and so I'm getting lots of practice in before I create my own version. And I'm filming that one too, so you'll get to see it here on this channel in a little bit. In working with this pen, for a long project like this, the several hours I spent drawing it, I cannot express enough how much I like the material that this pen is made of. It's really comfortable to hold. I've never owned a pen made of turned acrylic before. I guess I kind of thought it would just feel like plastic, but it's definitely more substantial than that. You know, it feels nice and sturdy. The grip is very comfortable, so the threads don't bother my fingers, like if I hold the pen a little bit further back. But by far, my favorite part of this pen is the nib. I'm not sure why, but maybe it's because of those sort of scalloped edges I was talking about before. I feel like it just has character. Like I can get several different line weights out of it. With really light pressure, I get this super thin line, and I can get thicker and add more value to the sketch, which you can see me doing right now in creating this kind of ocean part of the sketch. I wanted to block it out and make it nice and black, and I got to do that by putting a little more pressure on the nib. So that's really useful for art, the ability to get several different line weights and pressure with increasing pressure on the pen. The nib is not too wet so that it bleeds all over the place. I'm using cheap paper right now, and I did not really have any bleeding or feathering. I am starting to reconsider the fact that I use cheap paper to do all of my sketches, because there have been a couple of problems thus far, not just with this drawing, but with a few others as well. I feel like in this case, what I was doing with the sketch was really hindered by the paper and not the pen, which is a big problem. I don't know if you can see in the video, but over that dark area that I put a lot of pen strokes on, the paper kind of buckled and warped a lot. So all those lines had an effect on it. And the nib was actually taking up little pieces of paper, and I had to clean it from time to time because I was getting little bits of paper in my nib. And I'm definitely blaming that on the paper, because I've also used this pen with some other papers, and I did not have that issue using it as a journaling pen, or recently I used it on a postcard, and I didn't have that issue at all. So I am blaming that on the paper, and I may start within the next couple of videos to test some different kinds of paper to see if I can find something that will be more appropriate for my pen and ink drawings. I have a general rule with supplies, which is that you don't need to upgrade your supplies until you ruin a piece of artwork because of your supplies and not your lack of skills. And though I do have some lackings in my skills, I do feel like anything that went wrong, just about anything that went wrong with this drawing, has to do with the paper rather than the pen, which is fantastic, or my skills, which are acceptable. If you see the texture of the octopus right here, you can see the part of this pen, this drawing, that I'm not too happy with. I don't like what I did for the texture, so I'll keep thinking about how to solve the problem of octopus texture, because as you know, octopi actually have the ability to make their body multiple textures to blend in with their environment. So it's not that this is incorrect, but I think it doesn't look very good. I'm pretty happy with how the arms of the octopus look, but yeah, not completely satisfied with how I did this drawing, but it'll do. It'll do for now. And well, the main winner here is the Penbbs 456. It would be an understatement to say that I really like this pen. For people with experience with fountain pens, I do recommend it. I think maybe if you're just getting started in the fountain pen world, you may want to try some cheaper alternatives and some cartridge converter pens before you get into this. There's a lot of those kind of reviews on this channel as well. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for checking this drawing out. So just a few final thoughts about the Penbbs 456. I really love this pen. I have enjoyed using it to do art. The nib has such great characteristics. I feel like I can really, it responds to pressure in my hand. It's really comfortable to hold. It feels really nice. I would definitely recommend this if you've got a couple of fountain pens and you're looking to add to your collection at $45 to $50, depending on where you buy it. It's not quite at the price level where I would recommend it for a beginner. And then a couple of things like the vacuum filling mechanism might make it something that a beginner might not really take to. But if you know a bit about fountain pens, you already know you enjoy them, I definitely think you should check this out. Penbbs is a really cool company, and I'm really happy to support them by buying this pen. I'll probably buy more of their pens in the future. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. All right, have a great day, everybody. Bye.